appreciate all your support. Who would have thought a year ago from today, y'all were here with us for the webcast as we revealed details for the first time about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley. You were here with us for the first celebration of Harry Potter. Then your support was really appreciated as we had you here back for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley media preview, the grand opening, and now we're here back a year later for the second annual Harry Potter celebration. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce some special guests that we will have joining us. First, we have James Phelps. James, please come on out, who played Fred Weasley. And the other Weasley brother, we have Oliver Phelps, who played George. Welcome. And we also want to put our hands together for Ivana Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood. Luna, welcome. And last but not least, we have Michael Gambon, who played the prestigious Professor Dumbledore. Welcome, Michael. Here you go, sir. So we're going to be here to do a group Q&A. Jimmy and Danny from the PR team will have roaming mics. So if you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll come grab you. I know our first question goes out to Ricky. So Ricky, what would you like to ask our team?
I have spoken to you three before, so I must address this question to Mr. Gambon. This is your first time here from what I understand.
Second. I came
in Diagon Alley, first time, right? Excellent. So what are your impressions walking in here for the first time and what do you look forward to?
This is it. It's very good, very nice. Got some nice paintings on the wall. I like the chandeliers and it's very good. I just walked in. Is that a good reply? It should be. I've studied them. I like the beams across the roof. It's all very accurate.
Now that the films and the movies are so far removed from production and publication, how do you feel about gaining a new legion of fans who discover the magical world of Harry Potter through our theme parks here in Orlando?
I think it's pretty unique in the sense that, as you say, it's probably the first ever type of series, franchise, that people go to a theme park attraction and go, you know what, I'm going to go and read the books or watch the films and understand it more. Which is great. Even like today that we see, I never thought I'd see a guy who was obviously out with his grandkids, and the dad and the kids were saying, "Oh, come on, we need to go to Hogwarts," and the granddad was playing along, going, "Yes, okay, Hogwarts, of course, yes." I didn't quite understand what was going on, but you could see him like really taking everything into the details of here. And I think that's the cool thing about it. Like I said earlier, it's just totally unique to this part of the world.
Thank you.
Our next question. Usually you guys have so many questions to ask. I guess I'll ask a question to our crew here. What was it like to see, you guys were there on the film set, to see it brought to life here at Universal Studios Film?
It's really, I've never answered it, it's really good. But it is because obviously all the sets are hollow because they're not meant to last, but obviously here is. So you go to the walls and you knock on them and they're solid, which is what you normally see with a load of us who are in the cast doing. It looks really bizarre, but like especially Diagon Alley, obviously the set was, you could walk around the back of it, whereas here it's all real, all the shops are real. So it's quite, it kind of fulfills the imagination when you're filming too, and then when you're actually here it's real life. So it's kind of, we've got to have the best of both of it.
Oh, I have to remind you that Dumbledore never went in Diagon Alley. So that's why I was talking to you.
Oh, everything is great. We're so glad to have you guys here. What we'll do is we'll probably have you. Our next question, right over here, Christy.
This one is for Michael, please. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Nice to meet you. What is it that you think it is about the Harry Potter movies that really resonates with people around the world? And this is such a worldwide phenomenon.
Well, it's children and danger, isn't it? I've suddenly said children in this living that life under that thing there's only imagination, and the real danger in all these monsters. Is that right? That's what it's like. Yeah. I don't know what to know.
We have our next question right there.
Hi guys, this is mostly for Oliver, James, and Ivana, because you guys were here last year for the first celebration, and you guys also were here with Diagon Alley, so I'm just curious to know why it's important for you guys to kind of keep coming back and keep giving back to fans so many years after the series are finished.
To be honest with you, we have such a great time when we come here, because if we didn't, we wouldn't come. But like the fans are so lovely to us. They're very warm to, like they're very quick to say hello and say hi, but then they're not going to invade your privacy, which is really nice, and we can still enjoy going around the park anyway. But they're very cool just to say hi, and it's also great because when we film, when we were filming, there were only like a couple of hundred people on the crew and the cast, and that was it. So you never see a night theatre or anything, and you see the assistant straight away. Obviously, when you do film, you don't really see that. So, especially coming here, you see the adulation, as it were, for the work you've done as well. So that's quite a unique experience, really.
I think it's so much fun for us, and to come back every year and to still be met with that same passion, because we all had so much fun on the films, and it's like, especially in being actors in this industry, it's just you don't always get that warm reception, and to have something that's always going to be a part of you. Like for me, it kind of was long before I was part of the films. I was 8 years old when I read them, so I can't just detach myself from this world. So anytime I'm asked to come back, it's a pleasure.
I live in London, and whenever I walk, I get stopped by children about Harry Potter. They're too young to have seen Harry Potter. They've been told about it by their mum and dad, and I like that. Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. Our next question, Barb?
To play off what you said about being able to walk around and enjoy it, do you guys sneak into the expo too and kind of have an old time, say, looking at Neolima and props and all the different things that you really kind of lived with on the set?
Last year we actually had to do a pop into the expo, but fortunately we were able to do it before we popped in beforehand, but it was quieting down, or before we were announcing we were going to call in, as it were. And I was just surprised that I was actually learning stuff when I was there, because you look into stuff and it's, I think they were really showing off Pottermore as well at the time, so sitting down and looking more into depth at certain aspects of the books and everything, the spells. So that's really cool, and so it's more than just a gathering of Potter fans going on some theme park rides. It's a whole enjoyable weekend, which is great to see the fans' enjoyment in that, and we can partake in it as well.
I never really knew what was going on in Harry Potter, really, because Dumbledore was such a small part, really. And so there are big sections of it I never saw. I read them in the script, but I didn't know them very well, so I just pretended all the time. I know my own scenes, but the other scenes are not there. You tell people you've read them, but you haven't read them very carefully. You're not in them, so that's my problem.
Jamie, any question?
Yes, this is you folks, worked on the film. Can you talk about how different it was to work on the theme park attraction? You guys are featuring the Hogwarts Express Home, and you're in Forbidden Journey. What was it like to work on that outside of the feature film?
Well, I was not aware of it at the time. I mean, the scene where I'm walking down as a ghost was shot in London, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it was put here, and I wasn't aware of what was going on in London. I walked down and did a talk with costume on. I didn't know it would end up here, and so it was a shock. It was wonderful, a bit frightening. That was me, so thank you very much.
For me, it was different because I always thought the last thing I filmed was my character dead. Sorry for the spoiler alert. So I thought that was the last I'd ever play that character, and then I was asked to come back and replay him for the the Hogwarts Express bit here, so that was a bit surreal. So I didn't think I was going to play it again, but I did. And I did it in one take, which was a good way to sign up, unlike some.
I was getting paid by the hour, so I don't care. No, it was very much the one thing I learned different from the film for theme parks filming for like, film is that they were very into the second conscious that you had to get it like, bang on, because obviously it would fit in the ride. Because otherwise, if you just like did it, okay, I'm going to throw a firework in a minute, or you can't do that. It's got to be okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now throw it and then put it around. Which I didn't understand why that was so important until I saw it. But yeah, okay, obviously you're moving the whole time on the train. But it's great to be able to see it. It's when you're filming, you don't realise it's all green screen. So to see it on this train really is brilliant.
There's so much here that I didn't know about. It's wonderful. Cameras.
Our next question, Kat from MobileNet.
This question comes from one of our followers on Twitter. 2015 is just beginning. What are you guys looking forward to most about the year? I mean, your careers, but...
I'm a big cricket fan, so there's an actual series going on later this year. Just in general, really. Just enjoy travelling, getting around, working, obviously. Yeah, just enjoy the life. I don't really have a set plan for the year, so I'm just going down for the year.
I can't really look past the weekend. I've been looking forward to this weekend since we were asked to come here a couple of months ago. So it's been, yeah, that's a really boring answer, but that's not. I'm looking forward to the weekend.
You mentioned the Super Bowl. What team are you for?
I'll go for the Seahawks.
Good choice, by the way. This question.
I'm sure as young actors, you all were thrilled to know that you would have the opportunity to work with Robbie Coltrane or Michael Gambon, such a long and illustrious career. To be able to call him a mentor, I'm sure is such a great thing. Flipping that now to you, when you found out, okay, I'm going to be accepting a role where I work with hundreds of children, some of which obviously this is their first role. Was there hesitation? Did you say, I want to do this, I want to be a mentor to these kids?
No, they didn't tell me there were many children there. And no, it's just great. I mean, the children seem to, for me, sitting waiting to come on in London, you become unaware of the children involved. But it's not the very young ones, because you don't see them. They're ushered away from the set into the actual screen, and that's when you go another way. I didn't meet many children, apart from these children. And they're not children, and they weren't there.
No, we're always the older kids, really.
The oldest kids.
Although we didn't necessarily have that age.
Do we have any questions in the back?
Hi, this is a question. So this is a question for Donna. So we were wondering, Luna is a role model for a lot of Harry Potter fans, and so would you consider her a feminist? And what did she teach you about feminism, and what do you hope she's taught others?
To be honest, I don't think Luna thinks of things like feminism because I don't think she thinks there's a divide. She's oblivious to a lot of things. Like she's not aware that people think she's so weird. She's not aware that they don't like her. You know, she's like, they take my stuff. I don't know why. You know, she doesn't look at things and see, oh, this person is being mistreated. This person is not being heard. This person is being abused. I think she has love for everyone. She has appreciation for everyone. I think the idea of someone being prejudiced against for their sex, I think that's absurd to her. And I guess, yeah, like, I know that has been the topic everywhere lately, feminism, and you can't say you're not a feminist if you want equal rights for everyone. But I don't think she's like Hermione where she's fighting so actively. You know, I think Emma's sort of perfectly mirroring what Hermione would do in the real world, that she's talking about these things. But I feel like Luna's message or Luna's way of doing it would be just more modern, just more inclusive. Like she's not talking. Luna wouldn't be talking to the people who aren't embracing, like, you know, change or embracing everyone. She's talking to the people who are already full of love and who do want to, you know, want
to make everyone's lives easier and nicer. But I also do, I think because that Luna would be interested in, particularly because she went on to be a magizoologist, if that's the word. I think she would fight for animals, and I think she has a strong spiritual connection with them, so that's more her cause. But yeah, I don't know, feminism, that's a tricky one. Like, you have to be a feminist in this day and age, but it's not everyone's. I think it's more Hermione's, that's her cause that she's fighting for. If that makes sense. Thank you so much. Seth, should we go to our next question?
Question for Mr. Gambon. Obviously, the Fantastic Beasts films that are coming out, they haven't announced a cast or anything for that yet, so I wouldn't ask you to give away any secrets. But
What one is that?
The prequel films that are taking place in the 1930s.
Oh, yeah.
I was just curious that you as an actor, knowing your character, what do you imagine Dumbledore might have been up to during that era, and would he be available?
He'd be growing up, wouldn't he? He'd be younger and determined on a career in magic and in the house itself, in the building. He'd be worried about his money and doing well and running. That's what he really wanted to do, be in control. So not in the background, some square. I think. But very good reply. Especially a laugh. I was just trying. Anyway, I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ted. A quick question that I have for James, Oliver, and Ivana. In the spirit of us being at Leaky Cauldron, what is your favorite type of food and beverage when you had a chance to come here for preview week that you really enjoyed and can't wait to try since being back here for the celebration?
Yeah, I remember we were fortunate to have a good afternoon or lunch with the chef, the guy who sorted out, who basically came together with all the foods in here. Because that's the main thing, when you go to America and say, you go to a British pub to eat British food, okay, see how it is, but it's the point that the fish is flown over from the North Sea. The fantastic and the fish and chips, and it was probably the best in find in the land there, which is quite cool. But yeah, even Toad in the Hole, so it's just stuff like that. I think that's the Toad in the Hole, that'll be mine. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Ivana?
That's a really tricky question because it used to be the butterbeer ice cream that was the best thing on earth, and I recently went vegan, so I'm not allowed. But yeah, I will miss that, and my sister says she'll have mine. But it is amazing.
Oh, James, sorry.
James, thank you.
Sorry, James.
Well, yeah, when we did that tasting session last summer, I probably put on about 10 pounds because, I will finish everything. But yeah, like Oliver said, the fish and chips was, like I'm quite a snob when it comes to fish and chips. Like, if it's good, it's good. And these are good. So the fish and chips and the butterbeer, obviously, because that's. So what's the water with the
Gilly water?
The gilly water, yeah, that's really nice as well.
Wonderful. Any other questions from the team? Over here?
What's it like growing up with your fans? You're going to see a ton of 28-year-old, 30-year-old with wands around. What's it like to see a fan base just commit to something that really will bring us all back to our childhood?
It's like nothing else really, because I suppose a few years ago, if you saw somebody, as you say, in their late 20s dressed up in Hogwarts school uniform, people would look at them a bit strange. But now most of the people at the park who are coming to the park, they're not necessarily coming with mum and dad, they're coming with their pals, or they're on spring break, they're on whatever, on vacation with their friends. They're coming, oh cool, let's get our robes and really get into the occasion, which is really cool. That's cool for us, like growing up with it. It's even weirder when you leave the park and you see people walking down the street in their Hogwarts outfits in the middle of Orlando. I remember the grand opening last summer, and it was really hot outside, but still they were like, oh, I must buy the whole robe and the jumper and the tie and everything. And that's really cool to see. As I said, I think that's the thing what makes it more inclusive, that the fan base has grown with the series as well.
Thank you so much.
A question for Michael. You're involved with the next adaptation taking over towards Casual Vacancy. It's being turned into TV. Can you tell us anything about that adaptation, the process of working on?
That's the same writer, I can't tell you, I'm told not to speak about it. So I can't say, but she did, she wrote me a letter when it was finished, congratulating me on my performance. So there you go, you've got to clap now for that.
We just have time for a couple more questions.
So we talked to some people in the expo. They said that these books got them like through their chemotherapy. They said that these books like brought their families back together. How does it kind of feel to be part of a series that has such a big cultural impact like that? I guess it's pretty very late.
Surreal is the only word I can use to describe it, because obviously the books, we read them like everybody else. I remember reading the 7th book. I was in Japan just on holiday, and the book came out in, for some reason it was in English, but it wasn't out in Japanese, which is a good job, so Japanese. So I was in Japan reading the 7th book, and so I was reading it just like everybody else. But like you said, but I'm not reading them thinking of the faces of the characters as like the actors who play them, so I know the actors as the actors, the real people, not the characters, if that makes sense. But the way that it's all around the world, like you say, we've heard people when they've been going through illness or something, or even families being brought together, or even people have learned English because they wanted to be able to read the first print of the new book in English. So it kind of like make people learn new language and everything. I think it's a once in a lifetime thing where something so big comes along which can unite not only individuals, but I think whole countries.
It goes everywhere. I mean, we were in Australia, and James and I went out one night in Sydney. We ended up in like a rock club, and this guy came over to us, like big, broad guy, and he was chatting away, and he said, "Oh, look, I'm rolled up his sleeve." And he had like a load of tattoos. And he said, "This is my first ever tattoo," and he got the dark mark tattoo about that. And I was like, "Oh right, cool. So you're a Potter fan?" He said, "Yeah." So just stuff like that, you see what it means to people that they've got to learn to get it, permanently etched on their body, and I just, it brings it all home to you really. But it's an important part of a lot of people.
Our next question actually go right here, and then we'll go right over to the other one.
Hi, I'm Claudia, travel blogger from Brazil. You have a huge fan base in Brazil. Everybody loves Harry Potter. They're going crazy because I'm posting lots of pictures. My question is, what is the place that the books or the series took you guys? Like, what is the place in the world that you were not expecting that you would travel to, but you did and you loved it?
I'm not just saying it because you were there, but I actually went to Sao Paulo last year with promoting this place, talking about it, which I never really assumed that I'd go to. Obviously the World Cup was there, but I didn't think that I'd go there with the films. And it got a bit out of hand though. There was about 100 people camping outside the hotel, missing school and everything, which is quite surreal. And yeah, it's just like, that type of place, it's obviously a different culture, it's everything else, but they really buy into the whole Potter side of it, which is really surreal to me. So for me, not just because you hear it saying it, but yeah, it's
Japan for me, because it's so far away and the culture is so different to what we have. And I didn't expect there, because I went there when they built Wizarding World in Tokyo, and I never expected that. And it was a funny experience because they're all speaking Japanese, but they're walking around in Hogwarts robes, and they have the hippogriff ride there, and Hagrid has the voiceover, but he's speaking in Japanese, but he somehow still has Robbie Coltrane's accent. It was the most bizarre thing. So yeah, just being there, that was somewhere I didn't think of, hadn't associated with Harry Potter, but they really love it there. They're big fans.
I would say it's very random. Finland, and fell in love with the country and actually started learning the language. So I started learning Finnish, which probably I would have used to steal because only 5 million people in the world speak it. But it's I didn't think I'd go there, but I've actually really enjoyed the country.
I've never been stopped in a foreign country because I think without all the equipment, face and beard, they don't know who you are. So I've got out of it.
Our next question.
First, I just want to tell Ivana that we're going to try running smoothly now. So.
And I want to ask Michael if he's going to ride the Gringo Escape from Gringotts. Are you planning on riding the new ride? Here, the Escape from Gringotts ride?
No way. When I came 6 years ago, no, 4 years ago, for the opening thing, I got on that one that's the really bad.
The Julie Dragons.
I nearly died. I held, Dan was sitting down, Radcliffe was sitting next to me, and I was so frightened, I just kept my eyes shut, and I'm praying and feeling awful. And I looked at him once, and he was grinning all over his face. I'm so old, I can't stand it. I'd love to go on, but I'm too old. I would take some money.
A final question?
All right.
Anybody have a final question? We have in the back.
With the new movies, you know, the talks of the Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, I know you guys grew up working on the original Harry Potter movies, but to see other movies done in that universe, what are your thoughts going to be when you see a whole different cast, a whole different crew working on something in the same universe you kind of built?
Jealousy, rage. I'm so jealous. It took me, 5 years to get in these films, and now we're being butted out. I'm quite sad. I have tried to tweet them and say, can't she narrate them or something? but then it will also be amazing, to not be involved because we get to see, the magic of it. Because yes, when you work on the films, a little bit of that is taken away, and you know what to expect, and you have personal memories connected to scenes, and to be able to just sit back and watch it and see what they do with it, not see it coming from scratch into this amazing thing, but just see it there. That's going to be fascinating, and I'm just so excited to see, the magical world in America. What they're going to, because we're so accustomed to hearing the Hogwarts students with English accents, and it's really cool to see the different culture and to see all the magical creatures. So mixed feelings.
Well, thank you, Ivana, Oliver, James, and Michael. Thank you guys for joining us for this special Q&A. We're just going to have the talent pose for a group photo, so everybody can get a group photo, and then we'll be departing, and then we'll be able to have dinner here at the Leaky Culture.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.